They say comedy is simply being funny in a very serious manner. And they say that the duty of the comedian is to tell the people the truth using some form of amusement. Perhaps this is why we have come to love those who are merchants of laughter and joy. People like Mr. Ibu and the Yoruba actress Sisi Quadri, who we lost over the weekend. And this is why today we are going to be looking at something very crucial, and it is titled Comedy, Nigeria's Economy, Tech, and the Future of Content Creation. It's at this juncture that I would like to warmly welcome you to Channels Beam. I am Sunes Nathaniel. Here, curiosity meets conversations, taking us a step further into the future we desire. Before we begin, let's go straight to our top tweets of the week and then our spotlight. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Our trend this week begins with the buzz that followed French star Paul Pogba's 4-year ban from football by Italy's anti-doping tribunal, a sentence which the Juve midfielder has vowed to appeal, sending shockwaves across the spine of the soccer world. Still within the soccer world, Ronaldo and his Saudi Arabian team Al Nassr were in the news after the Portuguese was handed a one-match ban and a fine for an obscene gesture during the match against Al-Shabaab. Back to Nigeria's socio-political sphere, many Nigerians had a positive talking point, even as the Lagos State government commissioned its Red Line Rail project, which incorporates key bus terminals within the metropolis. Staying with affairs in Nigeria, Binance was another subject of discussion following the arrest of some executives by the Nigerian government with regards to claims that the cryptocurrency company was being used to sabotage the Nigerian economy. This week's trend ends on a very sad note with the passing of veteran actor John Okafor, popularly known as Mr. Ibu. For a while, he severely battled diabetes that led to the amputation of his leg. There seemed to be some ray of hope, but the legend eventually died on Saturday evening.
Ma.
Yes.
How are you?
Well done. Yes. Before you touch my daughter, kilo queen authority, the temerity to touch my child. If not, I'm not a violent person. I've already said I will not do violence again. Why? Why would you touch my child? For what? Who are you? In this estate, you sat down here and you're touching my child. Who are you? No, answer me, open your mouth at because the way you're looking at me, oh,
Tito, you have to pay Musoda. There's a bit from Matasu, you know. Taloko by Intergo, so you will tell I will get a bit on last year, and take on less to Tiru. Emigo go for less, Emigo in Debe, Emigo like Melody.
Kosha Joy, it's not your fault. If it's not because of Tenny that made me to come here and be talking to you, with your head like a Akura bonnet, so should be somebody EFCC. You know that your problem is not here. I don't even know why I'm standing in the first place to talk to you. I don't have any problem.
Because you are I was here to call your lane, you couldn't tell Lolo, I'm going to you alone. Tani come. Where do you rush you? A mimaro just a simple lane. Coiremi, Seba Fawa, the nation, and Crabble Joku. I been here, Lewa. I don't have your time. You want time? I don't have your time. I will go share it. What go do you want to say? Have you television white and black? You don't want to be the smart TV. I won't cause a carry away. One bag of TV. Hey, Mama, I do a change in Toku.
Many thanks for staying with us. Indeed, Nigeria did lose two great content creators, those who really made us laugh when they appeared on our screen. Our Spotlight video gives us a very good insight, not just into this discussion for today, but it also gives us a glimpse as to our distinguished guests who we're going to be discussing, comedy, Nigeria's economy, tech, and the future of content creation. Joining me here in our Abuja studio today to do justice to this discourse is Badamasi Bernard, known on the stage popularly as Koboko Master. He's a stand-up comedian with over a decade of making people laugh. He's also a social commentator and a content creator. Koboko Master, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, Celeste. You're like the first guy in a very long time we call my name the way that they call him for village.
Makes sense.
Bernard.
All right. I mean, he's not going to be the only one here. We also have joining us from Lagos via Zoom, Ezugu Chukwudi, popularly known as Husband Material. He's a journalist with experience spanning over a decade on television and radio. He's also a comedian and digital content creator. Husband Material, you're welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
All right, thank you very much. Guys, we don't have so much time, so let's get into the questions, right into the questions. I'll start with you, Koboko Master. Let's ask you, how has comedy intersected, Nigeria's economy, and how effective has it been in helping shape the social, societal perspectives when it comes to social issues?
Okay, I think for a profession that has been around globally since 1840s, you can deduce that it has weathered the storm. That is why it's still currently being accepted widely, So, and we as a people particularly, I think when people mention the natural gift Nigeria has from the crude oil to the precious stones, they forget sense of humor. I think God gave that to us directly. He didn't want it to pass it through a ministry so that somebody will not embezzle the money meant for the sharing. So God decided to give it to every Nigerian directly, not through the government this time. That is why you see, no matter how bad the economy is, we still find a way to laugh about serious issues. Like the psychologists will tell you that a balanced person is a person who finds two sides of an issue funny. No matter how tragic the issue is, you should be able to see a comedy from it. That is why sometimes you see words like tragic comedy. I think that's where we are currently in Nigeria.
All right.
Yes. And if you go by the numbers that our boys are pulling in, from the online content creators to the guys who do it live on stage, to the heroes like we just lost, Sisi, and of course, Mr. Ibu, may their soul rest in peace. Those that are still alive, the likes of Charles Inoje, Frank Dunga, Victor Swagu, Charles Awurum, you can see that from the days they started doing VHS till now, they are still relevant. Aki and Popo, you cannot remember the last time they made a movie, but they are still very relevant. Because first thing comedy does for you, both, let's say, online and offline, is that it gives you acceptability. And acceptability for me is equity. Yes, because once your face is known, a brand can put you on their product. So even when you're not acting movies, somebody is paying you for doing advert. So if you look at it, it has affected us in a very big way. And trust me, if it is not for content creators, with the economic reality of today, I don't think me and you will be comfortably sitting here.
That's a very good place to hold it. Let's come to you, Chukwudi. While you're going to attempt, how the society has been affected by comedy, also speak to how technology is influencing and the evolution of comedy, say within the last 2-3 years. Go ahead.
So I recall that, some 25, 30 years ago, you had this drama troupe that would travel around Nigeria, especially in the southwest of Nigeria, and at specific periods during the school year, you would have students converge and they would dramatize and, pass message through comedic content or stories. Now, with the advent of technology and the advancement and the development in social media, it's a lot easier now. You can be in the comfort of your home and reach out to a global audience. For example, you can create content in Nigeria, and in quick time and real time, someone in the United States of America, in the United Kingdom, or any other part of the world would consume this content, and they can respond to you, or you get feedback immediately. So technology has played a very significant role in the development of content creation, especially using comedy. And we have seen a new wave post-COVID. And this is because in the third world especially, a lot of people were, a lot of people dealt with trauma. And every time you turned to the news, it was always 20 die, 30 die, 50 die. And so a lot of people needed something that would inspire them. And when they got on social media, they were looking for what would give them happiness. As Koboko said, Nigerians, irrespective of the challenges that we're faced with, we would continue to strive and move on. People were looking for something that would give them genuine joy and satisfaction. And so they sought that on social media and got it. And that was why post-COVID, we saw so many people emerge as, content creators, especially in the area of comedy. And these people have gone on to become very successful people today. And some have even moved from, just creating content in the comfort of their homes to featuring on the big screen in the cinemas and also having a global audience. So technology has played a very significant role in ensuring that comedy as a tool is a viable tool to reach out to so many people and get them to understand things that are happening in our immediate society and beyond.
All right. Still staying with you just for a bit. Tell us, what are the potential opportunities and challenges, that comedians are facing looking at the technology aspect of things? People are saying somehow it's almost like having these content creators are killing things like stand-up comedy, stuff like that. Let's speak to that. What's the balance?
So I think that stand-up comedy and, creating content with the intent to reach out to an audience and make them laugh, whether it is through acting, through singing, anything whatsoever, are distinct areas. And so I think that whether you're creating content for social media or you go to a comedy club, for example, or go to a comedy event, there are two different things and there is no basis for comparison. But some people feel some type of way because, for example, if it is stand-up comedy, you have to go to a proper show or you have to go to a comedy club to consume the content that that person has curated for the listening audience. But for content creation, in the comfort of your home, whether you're in the classroom, whether you're in the office, you can access what has been created. And so I think that is why you see people who create comedy content on social media, it appears like they are winning, in quotes. And because it is readily available and you can consume it, you can share in quick time, follow up with the number of shares and likes, it would appear like the people who are doing stand-up comedy are not doing enough or they are not doing well. But I think it's distinct and it's different. And those who also do stand-up comedy, have seen the tremendous potential in creating content online, and they use it to good effect, whether to promo for their shows or to, in turn, after the shows, repackage and, broadcast it to a wider audience. Yeah. So I think that, it's the popular saying, the bird is big enough for every bird, the sky is wide enough for every bird to fly. Everyone can do what they want to do. But the problem is when people begin to steal from other people, intellectual theft, when you begin to use other people's content and create what in turn people perceive as going viral, and it will begin to affect those who are doing stand-up comedy. Because the truth is, a lot of the people who create this content, comedy content, are not very strong stand-up comedians. It is not their forte. It is not their strength for some. So what they do is they look out for some of these material that has been used by stand-up comedians and they convert them into video format. And because it goes viral, many people share it. It would appear like they own the idea. And I think that's where sometimes we have the clash between those who do stand-up and those who create content online. Right. But it is distinct, it is unique, and everyone can be successful.
All right. Welcome back. You're still watching Channels Beam, coming to you live from our studios in Abuja. Our guest, Koboko Master and Husband Material, are still here with us, and we're discussing comedy, Nigeria's economy, tech, and the future of content creation. Koboko Master, before we went, we said we're going to be speaking about this fact that people beyond G-Wagon, luxury cars, almost every Nigerian now wants to be a content creator. Everybody is wanting to be a comedian. Speak to it. How does it affect us generally? Is this something we should celebrate, or should we be very worried about that movement?
Not really, because once something is profitable, it tends to have a lot of patronage. Yes, because some of these boys that are making it big right now do not have that discipline to, should I say, properly present their success. You know, so there's a way you rub it in, and even your follower wants to be like you. You understand me? So that's something I think they should be careful about. When people go and ask you a question, how much are you worth? And you just spill. How many houses have you got? And you just spill. You know, so with all these security issues, I don't think it's really advisable to put it out there that you have some of these big things. But then again, like I told you before, we all have great sense of humor in Nigeria. And then for a country of well over 225 million persons, even though I don't know who they count this thing, you know, yeah, it'd be like every time the guy wake up, he go just throw 1 million inside. You know, so I don't know how this thing works. But if really our children would be born like this, then there's a need for people to stop. Yes, because even if not a gift from God, sometimes if you abuse the gift of God, it becomes a problem. You know, so I think we should be careful with these children who they born. You know, so what I'm saying is, with the amount of content creators we have, if we truly have patronage in Nigeria, I don't think we're ever enough. Yet we're not enough. Because there is unconfirmed statistics that this Netflix subscriber in Nigeria, and legally are not up to 200,000. They are not up to 200,000 for a country of well over 220-something million. Now you go to South Africa, as of 2021, South Africa were 59.39 million persons. They already have 1.7 million subscribers on Netflix. So you can say that 60-something% of the revenue when Netflix generates from sub-Saharan Africa is coming from South Africa alone, not even Nigeria, as a country will be the most populated black nation in the world. So we do not truly have the numbers the way it ought to be. That is why you see it looks like the skit makers are making a fortune more than the stand-up comedians. Because no, I don't think there's a skit maker anywhere that can stand what a Cathy Williams, a Dave Chappelle, a Trevor Noah, or a, what's the whiskey of them now? The small one, you know, Kevin Hart. It's taking home. I don't think so, because a Dave Chappelle presents a Netflix special original. It takes home about $25 million for a 60 minutes recording. Do you get? If that happens here, let's even say we are not greedy. We are not greedy. May they give us $5 million. We'll record one hour, give Netflix. And tell me where a skit maker wants to make such money from. But we do not have the number. I think the music have succeeded in doing that. The movies, because you go on Netflix now, you see original. From the likes of them, Black Book to Anikolapo, Blood Sisters. These are Netflix original. They endorse this movie, they bring the money for it, they do the promo themselves, and they throw it on the platform. People go there, stream and watch. But we've not had that in Nigeria for Netflix to look at the comedian, a stand-up comedian, and say, okay, we're giving you $10 million. Go and do a 60 minutes. Go and do a 1 hour special and return it to us. We'll do it, we'll promote it ourselves. Because the numbers are not here yet. You see, you have a Netflix on in your house, you share the stuff with over 10 persons. You visit person.
Let me now, what do you think is affecting the numbers? I think that's what we should ask you.
It's about the country. A lot of Nigerians would rather subscribe 1,000 naira per day on their phone than take a 20,000 naira to go and buy a router and keep in their houses. So, and that phone thing gives them access to a skit maker, but it does not give them access to Netflix. Because you, if you want to enjoy your Netflix, you probably have to watch your TV. But these guys don't have TV, there is no light, there is no generator, but you charge your phone, you move with it, you see somebody just posted a content, just touch it and watch, and off you go. So a lot of us have internet on our phones, but not like we have in developed countries, where you see 5 iPads in the house and they are all connected. 5 TVs in a home, they are all connected. You know, so we do not have the numbers yet for Netflix to say, okay, Nigeria is a market. Let's look at the stand-up comedy aspect of Nigeria. Right. But on the go, 3 minutes content, 1 Mr. Funny, 1 Brain Jotter. And that is why I think when people come with this story of nobody paved way for me, it gets me really angry. Because with this, you must look at people like Ledu, people like Clinton Cole, people like Crazy Clown, who started doing this thing when Instagram allowed just 60 seconds. I think they started this, and they were not making money then. They were just throwing it out there. People, they were getting equity, what I would call popularity. But by the time the thing became ripe, some boys came into it, and voila.
Go, Makasa, let me just hold you there. Let's come to husband material. You have heard what he said. Now, what is the future? What's the future for, comedy in general, content creation, looking at the tech and the trends? I mean, for instance, I could ask you, are you threatened by something like artificial intelligence? I mean, basically, those are the kind of questions I want to ask you, to know what's the future? What do you envision is the future?
So I think the future is really very bright, but it's important that, those who create content continue to evolve. When you understand your society, your immediate society, and understand that you have the world at your fingertips, it's important that you invest so much in yourself so that you can give a lot more. And it's also going to be very tough because you now have a global audience. In the past, it was essentially, people from a certain part of the country, people from a certain part of Africa. Right now, people would send you messages and say, oh, we love you from Malawi. We love you from India. We love you from South Korea. And when you look at the time zone, these are people who are, some people are even 8 hours ahead. Some are 8 hours behind. And what you're creating in real time, people are seeing it. So tech is a huge blessing. But as the creator, you must be very, very careful. The world has also become very, very sensitive.
All right.
Now that you have a global audience, there are certain things that you just do not do because your audience would understand you. Okay. There are some people who are going to be feeding on your content or consuming your content for the very first time. And when they see it, they might react in a certain way because they do not understand where you're from. So you must continually invest in yourself, learn, unlearn, and do well to understand that your audience is not just, people who maybe look like you or talk like you.
It's beyond.
I was at the AFCON finals.
Husband material.
Nigeria
I would have to cut you. Just we have to go because it's a very short program. I am hoping we're going to have a very robust conversation very soon where I will bring you guys and then we'll talk in details, of this comedy and how it's going to shape Nigeria. Guys, I need to say thank you very much for coming. It's a very short period. I know we have so much more to say, but like they say, off your mic. Off your mic for now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. All right. Yeah, it's on that note that we're going to draw the curtains on this episode of The Beam. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And as always, we'll be leaving you with the 5 most viewed videos of our YouTube. I'm Sunes Nathaniel. Until I come your way next week, please remember that we are a resilient people who for many years have been laughing our way through economic hardship and several disappointments in leadership. But tech brings a twist to that history. And today, we can force a new future with creative contents that only retell our stories, but avails us opportunities to harness all the treasures of our talents. Bye for now.
Loyal and honest to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity.
This week, we begin the countdown of our top 5 most viewed videos with a clip in which the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, chaired the Southeast launch of the Light Up Nigeria project. Our 4th most viewed video of the week is a report from our flagship news at 10. It shows protesters bearing placards protesting against a planned march by the Nigeria Labour Congress with regards to the economic crisis, a twist to what many would have expected considering the hardship in the country.
We are not going to allow the NLC to plunge Nigeria into anarchy. Calling for a protest against an 8-month government is uncalled for.
They have praised him, they have eulogized him, and said so many good things. Recently, when a book was launched, praises upon praises on Buhari's administration.
Third on our list this week is a video in which former member of the Senate, Mr. Shehu Sani, was of the opinion that the immediate past government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, played a great role in destroying Nigeria's economy, leading to the economic instability which the nation is experiencing at the moment.
The problems we find ourselves today was engineered, fabricated, and sustained by the Buhari administration. The Buhari administration institutionally fundamentally destroyed the Nigerian economy.
Somebody need to see you daily worrying about the country.
In second place on our top most viewed videos is an interview from one of our programs, Inside Sources, which featured Senator Naya Abaribe, who addressed the state of affairs in the nation at present and the role of presidential aides.
Instruct everyone that we are in trouble so that the public perception is that everybody is concerned. When you're in trouble and your ministers are flying with private jets everywhere, you're not conveying to the populace that you're in trouble.
It is not just saboteurs. There may have been saboteurs, even though I'm not in a position to say who saboteurs are.
This week, at the topmost spot on our list is an interview on the program Politics Today, which saw Governor Alex Oti reveal in details why it took Abia State 20 years to complete its geometric power project.
But there are a few things that happened. I told you my own story about the global economic recession. And it was real that the bank that started the funding at that time stopped for 2 years. And they didn't stop just because they wanted to stop, because no bank would take on this kind of project and want to abandon it halfway.
And that's it on our countdown today. Join us next week for more viral videos.